Hello everyone, this is Laura, and welcome back to Become a Fluent English Speaker. Today, I want to talk about something surprising. You might think that the smartest people learn English the fastest. After all, they learn quickly, understand complex ideas, and solve difficult problems. But when it comes to speaking English fluently, intelligence isn't always an advantage. In fact, many highly intelligent learners struggle more than expected. Why? Because they often fall into a trap that prevents them from speaking naturally. If you've ever found yourself overthinking every sentence before speaking, today's episode is for you. Let's begin with a simple question. Have you ever known exactly what you wanted to say in English, but stayed silent because you weren't sure if it was perfect? Maybe you spent several seconds checking your grammar mentally. Maybe you searched for a better word. Maybe you worried about pronunciation. By the time you were ready to speak, the conversation had already moved on. This happens to many intelligent learners. Their knowledge is not the problem. Their thinking process is. Smart people are often trained to avoid mistakes. In school, mistakes lead to lower grades. In exams, mistakes cost points. In professional environments, mistakes can have consequences. Over time, they develop a habit of analyzing everything carefully before taking action. While this habit is useful in many areas of life, it can create problems in language learning. That's because conversation happens in real time. You don't have 10 minutes to build the perfect sentence. You have a few seconds. Fluency requires speed, not perfection. Another challenge is that intelligent learners often become trapped in learning mode. They love collecting information. They watch lessons, read books, study grammar, and learn vocabulary. They know a lot about English. But knowing about English and using English are two different skills. Imagine someone who reads hundreds of books about football but never steps onto the field. Would they become a great player? Probably not. The same thing happens with English. Knowledge becomes valuable only when it is used. Here's another problem. Smart learners often underestimate the importance of repetition. They prefer learning new things because it feels productive. But fluency is built through repetition. The same phrases, sentence patterns, and expressions need to be used again and again until they become automatic. Many learners know advanced vocabulary but hesitate when using simple everyday English because they haven't practiced it enough. Another hidden obstacle is fear of sounding foolish. Intelligent people often have high standards for themselves. They want their English to reflect their intelligence. So when they can't express complex thoughts perfectly, they become frustrated. They compare their English ability to their ability in their native language and feel disappointed. But this comparison is unfair. You've spent your entire life developing communication skills in your native language. English is still a developing skill. Give yourself permission to be a learner. One of the biggest breakthroughs in fluency happens when people stop trying to sound intelligent and start trying to communicate clearly. Clear communication is far more valuable than complicated communication. Native speakers often use simple language. They don't search for the most impressive words. They focus on making their message easy to understand. That's exactly what learners should do as well. Here's an important mindset shift. Instead of asking yourself, how can I say this perfectly? Ask yourself, how can I say this simply? This question reduces pressure and increases fluency. You'll speak more quickly, more naturally, and with greater confidence. Let's talk about mistakes. Many intelligent learners see mistakes as evidence that they aren't good enough. But mistakes are actually evidence that you're learning. Every mistake gives feedback. Every correction teaches a lesson. Every conversation strengthens your speaking ability. That people who improve fastest are not the people who make the fewest mistakes. They're the people who learn from mistakes and continue speaking. Another reason some smart learners struggle is because they spend more time thinking than doing. They analyze methods, compare resources, research learning strategies, and search for the perfect plan. While planning is useful, action is what creates results. At some point, you must stop preparing and start practicing. A simple 5-minute conversation can teach you more than hours of planning. The truth is that fluency is not an intellectual achievement. It's a communication skill, and communication skills improve through use. The more you listen, speak, read, and think in English, the stronger your fluency becomes. Not because you're learning more rules, but because you're building habits. Every day you use English, you're teaching your brain to access the language more quickly and naturally. So if you're a smart person struggling with English, remember this: your intelligence is not the problem. Overthinking is the problem. Stop waiting for perfect sentences. Stop analyzing every mistake. Stop trying to impress people with advanced vocabulary. Focus on communication. Focus on consistency. Focus on action. Because the goal of language is not perfection. The goal of language is connection. Now, before we finish today's English listening podcast, I want you to answer a question in the comments. Do you think overthinking has ever stopped you from speaking English? Let me know below. And if you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe to become a fluent English speaker for more English listening practice. This is Laura, and remember, the best English speakers are not the ones who think the most. They're the ones who practice the most. I'll see you in the next podcast. Keep growing.